What's up guys, Starkiller here. Today we'll be taking a look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Rebirth CLAYFACE mega figure. Just admire the mass on this guy. This is just a really solid figure, although it is a hollow cavity inside his chest. Both halves are hard plastic. On his abdomen, we have two soft plastic pieces, one here and one down here, which works really good for articulation. This review is going to be a little quicker than my previous ones because I don't have the box for this guy. I got rid of it when I received him a few weeks ago, but I figured he's still new enough to where most collectors would probably still want to see a review on him. Let's start with, this guy is packed to the brim with detail. He has all these little skulls going on in his body. I just think that is such an awesome feature. They kind of remind me of the Ghostface character from Scream. Yeah, you can really get a good look at the skulls on the back here. CLAYFACE consumes his victims into his body and then like grows in mass because of it. So I'm pretty sure these are all fortunate souls who ended up being consumed by this blob of a man, if you could still call him that. I'm a big fan of his character, the whole failed horror movie actor, and then he proceeds to become basically a horror movie monster. It's a really sick premise to me. He's got like all these folds and wrinkles of clay that's just like pouring down. It's really featured well in his legs, where it just looks like mounds of sludge just built on top of each other. You can even see some speckling, or not speckling, but like this weird grainy texture going on his shins, if you want to call it a shin. Nothing on the bottom, and then two holes if you want to, put him on a stand, but he doesn't need a stand really. He's got flat feet. Like you can just kind of just stretch his arms out, and he is not going anywhere. His mouth can open. You can really see all that the weird flaps going on in his gums and his messed up teeth. There is some paint chipping on the teeth. I don't mind it because this is CLAYFACE. I'm gonna assume that his teeth are not gonna be perfect. I'm gonna assume some of that clay from his face is going to hit his teeth. And something tells me CLAYFACE is not brushing his teeth. He's got these spikes going on all throughout his body. And I think that is so cool. All the different textures just work so well together. Paint on this guy, I enjoy it. We're talking about CLAYFACE. CLAYFACE is a light tan brown sludge creature who is very round, right? That's what we're getting here. That's exactly what CLAYFACE is. The paint, I think, is really good for what it is. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. The brown and the black wash is really well done. The brown paint and the black overlay is really good. But we get some kind of orange that's kind of just sloppily tossed on there in spots. And I don't know what that's, but like right here, right? It's just a spot. I don't know if that's supposed to represent like wet clay or dry clay. It doesn't work well. Is it on the, yeah, it's up here. There's spots. It's not well done. It doesn't look good. It looks like somebody came in with like an orange crayon and just kind of threw some spots on there. While you can get this guy in a ton of poses, there are some restrictions with articulation, specifically in the arms, in some parts of the arms. Because the ball joint is in there and this arm is so heavy, it does tend to want to sag. But what you can do is kind of bend it like that, and it stays up. Now, of course, you'll lose the up and down slightly, but if you want it in the up position. But yeah, if you want to make do, you kind of just gotta. He has some really good in and out here. Like he can go really far in, which is good. He has a really small elbow joint, or at least one that isn't really usable. You can kind of get like that much. Like you see, like, did you even see that? Look. And I don't know if I can get more if I heat up the figure. That's what it's looking like right now. Not much at all. But there's a good amount in the shoulders because you can bring it forward, back, up, and down. So you can get some inward motion on the hands, which is good. You don't get any outwards, which is disappointing. I guess there aren't a ton of poses you can get him in, but there's a bit. This is also a very creaky figure, like if you hear it, but it's all the joints and the stockiness of the whole thing. And then the chest region, he has some really good bend, which I mentioned earlier. And he also has that all the way back. That's crazy. And he can still stand. This is the plastic piece here. So you can see what it looks like underneath. A very soft plastic. Oh, wait. That stays inside. There we go. So we don't get 360. Can we get 360? Not really. We don't get 360. That's as far as it's gonna go that way. Same for this side. Oh, wait. Oh, I guess you can get 360. That's hilarious. You could do some funny poses like this. Yeah, so you get 360 in the head. You don't get much left and right. You get some slight, very slight left and right. And then you get the open and closed mouth, which is a very solid, that's not gonna just open. And the legs, you get that far out, which is pretty far for a CLAYFACE and a mega figure. Forward, very high, so he can definitely do some kicks if you so choose. With these short stocky legs, you can get a single bend, which is more than what you could bargain for a mega figure. Outward, you can get outward movement that far as it can go. That's really good. I think that's due to the stockiness in the thighs and the soft material in the leg. So really good engineering on McFarlane's part. Let's get into size comparisons. Here he is next to the Suicide Squad Build-A-Figure King Shark from the Suicide Squad wave with a custom painted head sculpt by me. I think this scales really well. It depends what you're looking for. Some might think that CLAYFACE should be like triple King Shark size, which is understandable. I don't know if he was a smaller scale. Like, I don't know if he was a smaller size in the comic book run. And here he is next to the DC Collectibles Greg Capullo Two-Face figure. The original McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figure with a custom head sculpt and a black wash. And the McFarlane DC Multiverse Mortal Kombat 11 Joker figure. I think they all scale really well, all things considered. Here he is compared to the Dark Knight Figuarts Batman, the Mafex Justice League Batman, the Mezco 112 PX exclusive The Dark Knight Returns Batman, and on the end is the Mezco 112 Batman v Superman Batman figure. Like I said earlier in my review, I think the 6-inch scale works better for the character. He really scales well with any Batman figure that you can throw at him, and he looks great with any character. Any DC character that you want to put in the fray with him. And here he is next to your typical Marvel Legends and your typical Star Wars Black Series. I know she's in a pose, but you get the idea. So my final thoughts on this figure is that I think if you're a Batman fan, or if you're a McFarlane fan, or even if you're just a fan of huge, monstrous creatures, I think this is definitely the figure for you. I think for the cost, it's definitely worth it. I would highly recommend it, and he's an awesome display piece, a talking piece. Anybody who walks in your house, they're gonna be like, who is that? You know, he makes for some awesome posing options for your other figures if you feel he's not as articulated as he could be. Let the other figures, you know, do the work. He's more of like an articulated diorama piece, I'd say. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Again, this is a new toy review channel, and I know that this market is heavily saturated with YouTubers. You know, I feel like I can bring something new to the table, and I would love to continue reviewing for you guys. Yeah, check me out on Instagram, at starkiller_reviews, and I post customs, I post ACBA, all kinds of stuff over there, so make sure you check that out. Talk to you guys later. Peace.